Howdy, folks. Greyhawk 4x4 coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer. And happy Cinco de Mayo. Got to bust out the Coronas on, basically, I pretty much start on the 5th of May is when I start. Because for me, Coronas is a summer beer. And that pretty much is the starting point for me when I start enjoying these. So, cheers. And also, I needed this because if you follow me on Twitter and or TikTok, either one, you already saw that I did some content earlier today. That's why I happen to have you're like, he's all got all this Raiders shit on, and it's not even football season. Got nothing to do with the draft either, even though we just, had the NFL draft on it. Hey, Zapovada. Hey, Chupa. So it had nothing to do with that. But so if you saw that content earlier, you already know. But if you didn't see it, let me turn on my ring light here for a little extra light here. The infamous, and this isn't gaming related. Well, I always say that to me, football game, it's gaming related loosely. That fucking Tom Brady. I'll give him this. He is one hell of a troll. I don't know if you guys saw this, but and I'll give you some context after I tell you what he did. Today, he did a TikTok this morning where somebody, another person I don't really care for, so I won't even mention, said, hey, as like a TikTok challenge, tell me something truthful that you've never told somebody before, something like that. And so old Tom Brady of used to be the Patriots, now Tampa Bay, he gets on there and he says, that tuck rule game against the Raiders, he looks around, he goes, that might have been a fumble. That motherfucker. Now, having said that, if you don't know the context, like 20 years ago, we were in the championship game against his team, and if we stopped them, we were ahead. We would have went to the Super Bowl. Tom Brady draws back to pass. Somebody, I think it was Charles Woodson, is coming upon him real quick. So to try and protect himself, he starts bringing the football down. You can tell he's tucking. That's why it's called a tuck rule game. You can tell he's tucking it to his body so he doesn't fumble. And Woodson hits his arm anyway, and the ball, as he's doing this, and the ball comes out. So it goes to the referees, and the referees say, oh, it's an incomplete pass. He was trying to throw a fucking pass. He was not. Anybody that watched it knew that he was tucking the ball for trying to keep it secure, even though he failed and fumbled it anyway. Well, because they said, oh, it's an incomplete pass, because we recovered it. The Raiders recovered it, and that would have been the end of the game. They could have just ran the clock out, won the game, we would have went to the Super Bowl. But because the refs went the other way with it and said, no, it's an incomplete pass, they got a do-over, and they got a touchdown, I think. I can't remember. They scored. The bottom line is they scored, and they won the game, which they wouldn't have done if it had been called right. Now, the bigger problem is that, of course, Tom Brady, in the moment, was all, no, I was throwing a pass. And ever since then has been saying, oh, no, that was an incomplete pass. I was throwing a pass, knowing that it wasn't, outright lying. And then he finally, after 20 years, gets on today and says, yeah, might have been a fumble. And he's got that fucking smirk on his face where he's like, salt in the wound type of shit, trolling. So I had to do my response to that, and it's on Twitter and it's on TikTok. And I've kind of started a shit show with Patriots fans and everybody else saying, "Oh well, you guys lost the game. It shouldn't have come down to one play. You guys lost the game." It's like, no, you guys cost us. The refs cost us a trip to the Super Bowl that we earned, and we got screwed out of it. And so, yes, still bitter. Yes, we're still bitter. Yes. So anyway, that happened today. I don't know if any of you guys care about football or not, but that's a big deal for some of us. So that happened. And then for show and tell today, we'll do this in a minute. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. Some of you might have. This is the Dragonlance board game. Came out 35 years ago, maybe something like that. I think 88. So whatever that is. Because I was in Germany when it came out. I bought it in Germany, played it once. So we'll go through that. That's going to be involved because there's a lot of shit here to go through and everything. But so we're going to do that. Let's go look at the gaming news going on here. See if there's anything worth talking about here. Let's see. I guess if you like Fortnite, it's good. It says Fortnite is free on iPhone and Android again, and Xbox Cloud Gaming. So if that's your thing. Oh, I did see this article. Zelda Ocarina of Time is finally part of the Video Game Hall of Fame. So if you didn't know, I always forget that there is a Video Game Hall of Fame. But Zelda Ocarina of Time is finally part of the Video Game Hall of Fame. Now, I have never played that game. The only Zelda game I ever played was the original on the NES when I was in Germany, and my buddy Rich had an NES, and over at his house we played Zelda. It's the only Zelda game I ever played. Great game, great franchise, but I have heard from other people and seen other content and so forth, where a lot of people think Zelda Ocarina of Time is one of the best games of all time. Period. Just one up there in the pantheon of all great games of all time. I don't have any reference to that because I never played it, but if any of you did, please chime in and let me know your thoughts and whether or not you agree with that. So anyway, it's finally in the Hall of Fame. So regardless of my opinion, that is good news because it obviously deserves it. Let's see what else is going on here. Let's go to PC Gamer. You can play Morrowind multiplayer in VR. Not a VR guy, but for some of you that love VR, I'm sure that would be fantastic. Let's see here. Anything else? A new Mafia game is reportedly in development under new studio leadership. 2K Games. That's interesting. I enjoyed the first one. I never played the rest of the franchise, but I enjoyed the first one. Let's see here. Anything else going on? So the Steam's most wish-listed game is delayed by nearly a year. The Day Before, it's called. A mix of DayZ, The Last of Us, and The Division is moving to Unreal Engine. So they're changing engines, is what they're doing. So I think here's something that grabs my attention. This isn't really gaming related, but it is definitely computer related. So as you guys know, because I have my one shirt on for my merch that says, "Congratulations, Microsoft, you made another piece of shit." because Windows 10, the update to Windows 10 on my other rig bricked it. And here there's a story. It says Windows 11 preview update will break Microsoft Store apps. So I get to say again, congratulations, Microsoft. You made another piece of shit. They have an unbeaten streak. Sepulveda, your Raiders jersey, the Bo Jackson one, is that like this one, silk screen one? This is one of the regular silk screen ones. It's not a stitched one. I have a stitched Kenny Stabler jersey, which is that's like very special occasions that comes out. This is my Warren Sapp silkscreen one. So I'd be interested to know if your Bo Jackson is a silkscreen or stitched. Because if it's stitched, that's a hell of a jersey to have, man. I mean, well, any Bo Jackson jersey is incredible, but if it's stitched, where it has the numbers are actually stitched onto the jersey rather than just this whatever you call it, vinyl shit, you know. So Sepulveda does it. He might be sitting on a gold mine right there. I'm gonna check right while he's doing that. I'm gonna check and see what a stitched Bo Jackson jersey goes for. Let's see here. So they got these Bo Jackson. These are newer ones. I'm wanting to see like on eBay. Not a whole lot. I thought it would have been more. Well, let's see if this is a stitched one though. No, that's not stitched. That's that vinyl shit, I think. That's not a legit one. That's somebody's home done one. So yeah, you got to be careful because like finding a legit one, as opposed to some of these that I can tell are just BS knockoffs and crap. Bo Jackson has Las Vegas autographed black Mitchell and Ness replica jersey. That's a replica jersey, $400. That's a throwback. See, finding an original, if you have an original, that's gonna be hard to even find, I think. All these are throwbacks, and some of them are home stitched, where they basically, bought a plain jersey and stitched it themselves or whatever. So it's gonna be tough to even know. Excuse me. Hey, Mister. So, Mister, if you just joined in, I already did my Tom Brady rant. But I know you saw my tweet earlier today, so you were already cracking up about it. Hey, Jesse. Mister says you got to get Elden Ring. It's so much fun. Be ready. Just be ready. It could be the next. A Fallout 4 like that addicting. Oh man. Wow, that's saying something, Mister. And you know me pretty good from watching all my content and everything. So that's saying something. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to get it. Yeah, that tweet, and I was telling everybody earlier before you got on that I'm also on TikTok, and so I did it as a TikTok, and before I tweeted it, and so I'm getting some pretty hilarious responses there from people that are Tom Brady fans. So that's pretty interesting. And I was doing it. I was kind of I don't know if you guys, I'm assuming some of you at least have all seen Christmas Story, the Christmas Story movie that comes out at Christmas time every year. The one where the guy has the leg lamp and his wife either on purpose or by accident breaks it. and he gets so angry, and he like grabs it on. He's like, "Get me the glue." And yeah, that was the basically the mentality that I was trying to do with the referee thing there. I was basically doing the same type of thing that actor was doing. So, um, it has the Souls element, but it's very much open world journey. I'm gonna have to check that out. And I do like the fact that it's you can like do solo, or you can have it your game open for multiplayer if people want to join your game. I love that idea because I love that in Borderlands. You know, um, so yeah, I'm gonna have to get that. The other one I got my eye on, Alethra is here. Hi, Alethra. So have any of you guys ever played Conan Exiles? There's there's there was the MMO Conan Age of Conan Unchained or whatever. That was a like traditional MMO, and then they came out with Conan Exiles, which is like Valheim. It was before Valheim, but it's that style, and it's on sale right now, heavily discounted. It's like 60% off, and I did play Age of Conan, but this is a different game. But it does have base building and all that kind of stuff in it. Um, I think the only difference is that the servers are pretty small. I think they're like 1,500 people to a server or something like that. So I'd be interested if anybody's played. So the MMO, yeah. Well, the MMO I couldn't play it. I couldn't play because of I tried and tried and tried that weird funky combat system that they had, where it would light up like what your next move needed to be, and you had to follow the fucking pattern to like do certain move, instead of just a traditional, you know, either keys or action buttons at the bottom on your toolbars. Instead of that, it had that weird ass whatever the hell you want to call that thing. I mean, I just couldn't do it. That was not for me. That was if it hadn't had that, I would have played it a lot longer. But I just couldn't do the combat. But this Exiles, I might have to try that out. I could at least buy it and play it for an hour or so just to see what I think of it. Because you can always return it if it's less than 2 hours played or whatever. Yeah, exactly, Mister. Yeah, I prefer tab targeting. Exactly. Yep. Or even um, ESO style. Twitch based with the mouse. I have no problem with that either. I'm fine with that. Either one. But that weird ass, whatever that, you know, Conan one was, it wasn't for me. So, Alethra says, I love Age of Conan. So, Alethra, how do you feel? So, you're okay with the combat style with that box that comes up that has arrows on it and all that stuff? Because I just couldn't get that. I just couldn't get that down. Oh, Zapova says, should be in the basement. I'm not going to the basement now. Okay. Yeah, whenever, man. Next time we do a live or whatever, you can just let me know, and you can Google it. Yeah, basically the stitched ones. If it's a legit NFL one and it's stitched, the jersey, it's worth a lot more than this silkscreen vinyl shit here. So, and maybe my next live, I'll bring my Stabler one down so I can show the difference, and we can do that. Let's see here. Let's see here. No worries, Zapovita. So yeah, I don't know if Alethra, if she's still here or not, but yeah, I'd be interested to know, Alethra, on your take on the combat for Age of Conan. Because everything else, I was pretty happy with the rest of it, but Yeah, that was the deal breaker for me. So exiles might be more, my style. So I hope I'm wrong about the new expansion of WoW, but I feel like a lot of people are either copy them or somehow forgot the last two expanded bastards of adders and shadow laps, like hamster laps. Yeah. So Alethra, when you do the combat in Age of Conan, so to do those different as the pattern comes up for your attacks and all that, do you use the number keys or are you using the mouse to click on the actual the rectangle that comes up with all the arrows on it? Because I usually use the mouse for most things, and so I could see where if you were somebody that uses the number keys, it might be a little bit easier. Mouse, okay, yeah. See, it wasn't my thing. I just couldn't do it. So, Mister, you brought up a good point there about the next expansion and all that. Did you see that I think it's the state of New York or the city of New York is suing Activision Blizzard, specifically because of Bobby Kotick? They actually cite him in the lawsuit because of his lack of leadership and everything, and the fact that it tanked the stock price and all that. Let's see here. If I can find that story. New York City pension funds sue Activision Blizzard seeking records on CEO Bobby Kotick. New York City sues Activision targeting CEO Bobby Kotick. It's almost. Now, if I want you guys to put your memory caps on here. Remember when this whole shit show with Bobby Kotick started? Somebody, it might have been your resident vintage gamer, who did a video and literally speaking to the board of directors for Activision Blizzard, and I'm pretty sure I said something to the effect of, I don't know why you guys are not getting rid of Bobby Kotick. I have no idea what he has on you guys, but he is only going to cause you pain and suffering if you don't kick him to the curb. And now, mind you, a lot of other people said the same thing. A lot of people in important positions in the gaming industry said it. I'm just some little nobody, but I know I said it, and I wasn't jumping on the bandwagon. I was one of the first to say it, and here we are. The chickens are coming home to roost. Now he's causing you guys fucking problems because now you're getting sued by New York, just because he's still there. I don't get it. It's crazy. It's like he's got to have something on somebody. He's got dirt on somebody. It's crazy. It's baffling. Let's see here. We'll do the Kotaku. Let's see. Activision Blizzard is facing what it feels like its 8,583,129th lawsuit, as first reported by Axios. This one's from New York City and alleges longtime CEO Bobby Kotick raced to find a buyer for the mega publisher he has been leading for 30 years to explicitly avoid consequences for turning a blind eye to claims of widespread instances of harassment at the company. It's like I said, he was only going to cause you guys pain and suffering, and here comes the pain and suffering. So yeah, more bullshit because of that guy. It's unbelievable. Well, and here's the thing. You guys all remember, I've lived through lots of scandals in the business world that we've all witnessed, and every other instance that I can remember, as soon as the heat gets to a certain level, the CEO takes a they call it a golden parachute, where they give him a bunch of money to go away. And the CEO says, "Yep, I'm out," and resigns. And it's always, "Oh, I'm going to go spend more time with my family," whatever. And they bow out. And that's because they know the board of directors. Hell, they did it with Steve Jobs at Apple the first time. They kicked Steve Jobs to the curb. And then when they were running the company into the ground, they had to beg him to come back, and he did come back. But the bottom line is, if they were willing to get rid of Steve Jobs, which probably was not a smart move when they did it, here you have the opposite flip side of the coin with somebody like Bobby Kotick, who obviously needs to go, and they didn't do it. It's fucking cuckoo. So anyway, yeah, I'd almost forgotten about that little news tidbit. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to make another shirt design with like Tom Brady on one side and Bobby Kotick on the other side, in the death match, to see, which one of these fuckers is actually really going to actually retire for real first, because Tom Brady pretended to get attention or whatever, and then he psych and came back, and Bobby Kotick is just like a dog with a bone that won't give up the fucking bone. And so I need to come up with a shirt design with him, Bobby Kotick on one side, and Tom Brady, because they're the two that drive me crazy. As I take another drink of beer. Yeah, he retired for 2 months. Yeah. That was all coordinated, orchestrated, choreographed, you know, his PR team. I don't know, why they specifically did. I don't know if it was to get negotiations for a better contract. I don't know what, but it was all bullshit, typical, So anyway, so let's do the show and tell for today, okay? So again, this is going to be the Dragonlance board game that came out in 1988. Now, I remember, like I said, I was in the Army when this thing came out, and it was at the pinnacle of like Dragonlance's success. Like when they were, they had all the novels, they had all the gaming stuff for D&D, and all that. Let's get that over there out of the way. Stay there. And then they decided, well, we'll do a board game too. What the hell? And this is the back of the box, and this kind of shows you the board itself when it's in play. And some of this will make more sense. I'll show it again at the end after I show all the pieces and stuff, but it'll kind of make sense. But the bottom line is that these are all dragons that, and each player has their own set of dragons, like a dragon army. And the idea is they're assaulting this tower to get there's a dragon lance on the top of that, and they've got to get the lance or whatever. And the white things, these are for elevation. So you can see like this one here is at a higher elevation because there's more of the white things stacked there. And which I might actually use for miniatures when we play D&D. I might actually use these white things with minis to show elevation when somebody's levitating or flying or whatever. But anyway, so this kind of shows you the game board and all that. And it actually has two sets of rules. It has basic rules and it has advanced rules, obviously. And the advanced rules, I was flipping through this. This goes into like magic items because there's cards that have like magic items that you can draw and everything. It shows different types of movement rules for the dragons and so forth. And then there's the magic. Some of these are magic items up here. And it even has optional rules Let's see here. It has optional rules and game variations on the back and at the very end here. So you could do different variations of to be able to customize the game. It even says, you can customize your own rules. They give you all the pieces and everything. You can do your own rules if you want to. So you got those, and then so they've got all these pieces that make up that tower that I was showing you on the thing. And I'm not going to put it all together, but you got these pieces, and then each player has a flag that goes around the tower. And the way it looks like in the rules is that your dragon army has to attack the other player's flags to try and get to the Dragonlance or whatever. And then, oh man, I just dropped a shit ton of stuff on the floor. God damn it. Anyway, these are the dragons. I don't know how well this is going to come up. Let's try and do the hand behind the thing here. So these are your dragons, and then turn it around so you can see the head and everything. So there's your dragons. You got your wings, and then you have a little nub here to put your base on. And then you got little bases to go with them that they go on to. So, and then each player, it can have up to 6 players. So there's 6 different colors of these dragons and so forth. And so you've got red, gold, silver, blue, green. There's one that's got a base on it, which is the wrong color base, but it's got a base already on it. And you got blue, silver, etc. Now mine is complete. My game is complete, and I looked it up on eBay just out of curiosity. Well, it was complete before I dropped all that shit on the floor. Hopefully, I'm gonna find everything. And I don't even know if I could find one that was complete. I found one that was still sealed. Now, whether or not it was factory sealed, I don't know. But there was one that was sealed, and it was like $400 or something like that. So I don't know. I don't know what this one's worth, but it's always nice to kind of know, And then this is the top of the tower, and that's the Dragonlance that is that's at the top here. And it comes out, and apparently you can capture the Dragonlance, and then your units can use the lance to fight the other dragons and stuff. So just getting the lance does not end the game, as far as I can tell. That's just a mechanic of the game. So, and then you got your cards. You've got magic items. There's the hammer of Karis, I guess it's, and then add 3 damage given it good. So they have alignments even for the magic items and stuff. Spells. There's haste. Damn. There's haste. Come on now. Lightning bolt, teleport, power word, +6 combat when attacking bronze dragons immune. Cloud kill, certain spells certain dragons are immune to. Here's cloud kill, green dragons immune, obviously, because that's their breath weapon actually. So the cards obviously are a huge part of that. And then that's what they look like on the back there. Just say Dragonlance game on it. And you got some other counters that represent, I think, like your floating island where your dragons can land. And I'm guessing that they probably can only be in the air for so long, and then they have to rest or something. And these are all the same. They all show the island. If I can get that, please Please focus, because they're not going to be able to see what it is if it doesn't focus. But anyway, it's a floating island, and so these represent their um, like where your dragons can land or whatever. And then finally, they even give you this cool little thing that has all these to hold all your dragons and all your counters and all that stuff, your cards and everything else. It's got this cool tray to hold everything. So that is the Dragonlance game from 1988. I don't know if any of you have any. I got to remember that stuff's down there when I roll my chair back so I don't break anything. So for any of you Dragonlance fans, I'm sure that's, if you don't already have it, that may be something you want to. You can find the incomplete ones fairly reasonable on eBay. And then I did see other people selling just the parts. So you could probably buy an incomplete one and then find the parts you need separately to make a complete game. So if somebody's interested in doing that. Let's see, make sure I didn't get Alethra says nice art. Yeah, it's that typical Dragonlance, that's should be is this Larry Elmore I'm thinking, or is this Clyde Caldwell? No, this might be Jeff Easley. I think that's Easley. Pretty sure this is Jeff Easley is the artist on that. So yeah, it's beautiful artwork. Nice. How is TikTok? Having fun with it? Yeah. So for those, hey Chupa, that's the second time you were already chimed in earlier, huh? Yeah. You've just been quiet. So TikTok is the platform that I've decided that I'm gonna stuff that's not gaming related, I'm gonna do on TikTok, because there's quite a few people that discuss politics and stuff like that have created large followings on TikTok talking about politics, and whether it's sports, politics, whatever it is. Because I want to keep that out of this channel. I want this channel to be a gaming channel, little bit of sports, like when I talk about this bullshit, Tom Brady and football and stuff like that, a little bit of that, but mainly I want it to be a gaming channel, which it always has been. So the TikTok thing, so if anybody is interested, all social media platforms, my handle is what you'll find me at, Greyhawk 4x4. Doesn't matter which one it is, you'll find it. So if you're interested in seeing my takes on politics and other stuff that's not gaming related, or not, I should say not geek culture, because I also talk about like Marvel superheroes, Star Wars. We do that here on this channel. But anything that's like not that kind of stuff, real world, events, newsworthy events, politics, and stuff like that, I'm going to do that on TikTok. So, and then on my Twitter, I do everything. I tweet out whatever I feel like tweeting out. So you can always follow me there. But so TikTok, today I did my very first political themed video, and I've already got somebody pissed off at me. So as a teaser, I will address that in a second, because I love Errol Otis too, Alethra. Just as a teaser, the video I did today was about Rudy Giuliani, and the fact that after January 6th, he literally incited a riot, and he still hasn't been arrested. So that video is about that. So I'm not going to go into any more about it, because I don't want this to be about politics or whatever. But that's the teaser. That's the kind of stuff that I talk about on TikTok. So if you guys want to, yeah, I mean, I can talk about all that stuff. Elon Musk buying Twitter and stuff like that. I mean, some of that I might talk about here, because that's kind of geek related, the fact that Elon Musk is basically a bad day away from being a Bond villain. Think about it. The guy's got almost $1 trillion and an entire arsenal of rockets at his disposal. and all kinds of weird tech shit. He's this. I mean, literally, he's a bad day away from being a Bond villain. Think about it. But yeah, we could. So anyway, any of that kind of stuff, that's what I'm gonna talk about over there. So if you don't want to see my take on any of that, please, yeah, don't even bother checking me out of it because you know, uh, I want to keep them separate. So, um, but yeah, you're welcome to check me out on all the platforms. That's fine. Yeah. So the Elon stuff with Twitter because that's kind of geekish. We can talk a little bit about that here. I just gave you my. I mean, uh, I I am absolutely uh, fascinated with SpaceX and what he has done with um, being able to go to space. And whether it's space tourism or whatever his motivations are is beside the point. From a technological standpoint, being able to land and reuse rockets, uh, you're talking to an old missile guy here from the army. Uh, there was no reusing shit. It leaves the rails. It's gone. That's it. The idea of shit coming back and landing and being able to be reused is mind blowing. So, um, um, let's see here. I do think he's one of the better billionaires, though. But yeah, I'll download TikTok just for you. It knows I might find out others on there. So yeah, one thing I will say about uh, yeah, I don't really have a beef about with it when it comes to Elon Musk. Um, he's an eccentric guy, and you know he's doing the billionaire thing. Um, it'll be interesting to see what he does with Twitter, but we'll have to go and wait and see on that. But yeah, I'll wait until I see you on there, Mistra, and I'll add you then. Um, he doesn't have 90 million followers for no reason exactly. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, and I think everybody here will agree. He from time to time, and we all do it. We're all guilty. I'm not. We all do it. He makes douchey comments sometimes on social media. We all do that. The only difference is he's got 90 million people following him, and you know he can get a rise out of people just by making a certain douchey comment, and so uh, that influence is different than if I say something douchey, you know. Um, Everybody can just say, oh, you know, Greyhawk's just being a douche again, or whatever. He says it, other things can happen. So anyway, um, but yeah, I will say this about TikTok. When it first started, and even for the first few years after it first started, it was a platform basically for goofy teenagers to get on and do goofy teenager shit. Nothing wrong with that. That's what it was for. But in the last few years, a couple of years specifically, it has turned into a platform for everything. You have doctors that get on there and like talk about um, coronavirus and like literally show all the numbers of all the different studies and the stats and all that stuff, so you can make your own mind up about how you want to approach your defenses to say coronavirus or whatever. You have political people that get on there and have a huge following about political topics. You have people that get on there and do just cooking channel. They do is cooking stuff, and they do different recipes and they give tips. Um, and then you've got the funny people. You got the people that do full on skits, and all the people that I'm talking about on TikTok that do these full on skits with full production values and everything. They're better than anything SNL has done and Saturday Night Live has done in a long time. They're funnier. They're fall down on the floor funny. Um, so yeah, you have that kind of stuff too. So there's all, it all depends upon what you want to follow, and you can ignore all the other stuff, which is kind of which is what I like. Stuff I don't want to have anything to, I just don't follow it. So I like JP and CO, hence without talking about it here. I'll have to decipher that in a minute. I'll figure out what you're talking about there. Yeah. But anyway, so we can, and we can talk about here anything geek related, anything tech related. I'm fine with all that. That all makes sense for this type of channel. Politics, etc. We'll do over there. So, so what did you guys think about the show and tell about the old Dragonlance game? I'm trying to find different things to do for show and tell on here until I one day I'll eventually run out of stuff that I have to start doing repeats or something. But I'm trying to show you guys different types of gaming things, whether it's, at some point I'll just use my phone and do videos of my Intellivision and my Commodore 64 because they both work, and my Sega and all that. I'll do that stuff too, but I probably won't do that stuff on a live. But so one thing I am going to give you guys a heads up on, next month in June, I'm going to be going back to, to Evermore Park. Evermore Park is the fantasy themed theme park right here about 10 minutes from my house. That's basically like live action D&D almost. Like all the actors, everybody that works there is like an actor in character, and they give out quests and stuff like that as you go through the park and stuff and I've done videos before about it, but we're going to do it we did the fall event because each ones are different storylines and so forth. This one's going to be the summer one. I've never done the summer one before. So I'll try to do some shorts, like YouTube shorts, which are basically like YouTube's version of a TikTok, like 3-minute videos. I'll try to do those. Because doing long videos on a phone doesn't make a lot of sense because it takes so much data transfer to upload that from your phone, and where 3-minute videos it's perfect. It's so Chupa. It is LARPing. You don't have to. You can show up just like I'm dressed right now, and you can go through the whole park. You can do the quests, everything else, and a lot of people show up in costume. A lot of people show up LARPing, basically. And they've got a mausoleum. They've got and all the buildings that are on the property, they're all legit buildings. They're not facades. They're full stick-built actual buildings, and they have a Viking longhouse that the restaurant and the tavern and everything are in. You can, they have a website, Lil Will. If you just Google Evermore Park, it'll come up, and you'll see all the fantastic. Mistra, you would love it because a lot of the stuff is all like magic based, like all the storylines and all that stuff. But the summer one is the one that we're going to be doing. So I wanted to give you guys a heads up about that. Now, having said that about Evermore, here's the stupid part. So I don't know if you guys remember, but Taylor Swift had an album that came out a year ago, maybe a little bit longer, called Evermore. That was the name of it. She released that way after Evermore Park was in place, like way after they'd already been established and all that. So what do the owners of Evermore Park do? Now, you might say to yourself, if I was the owner of Evermore Park, any of you might say to yourselves, if you were the owners of Evermore Park, and that happened, the biggest recording artist in the world, arguably, Taylor Swift, drops a best-selling album named the same name as your park. You or I might say, maybe our people should reach out to her people and let them know that we exist and say, hey, how cool would it be if we did a cross-promotion thing? Where maybe we sell your album in the gift stores here, maybe we promote whatever it is that you want promoted, and that type of thing. Perhaps maybe you could come to Evermore and do a short little like one song thing, a little PR stunt type of a thing, and do a team up thing. You would think that might be something that the owners of Evermore Park would do, because option B seems kind of ridiculous, right? That option B being, well, we were here first and she released that album with our name after the fact. Let's sue her. That was option B. Guess which one they chose? They chose option B. Now, Evermore Park is not a very big theme park. It's a moderate sized theme park that, they're not raking in Disneyland money. They're not raking in most theme park money, but it's a decent experience and everything. Fun experience. Taylor Swift probably has lawyers who have lawyers whose lawyers have lawyers. Just saying. They chose to sue her because of the name. They lost, as far as last time I checked. Or they dropped. It might have been they dropped it. I think they might have dropped it if I remember correctly. My guess is they realized how much lawyers cost and how much it was going to cost them in legal fees just to go after her. And they realized she can hold out a hell of a lot longer than we can. And I think they dropped the lawsuit. If I remember correctly, they dropped it. But my thinking was, they blew an opportunity to cross promote or something. And I'm not saying that she would have went for it or her people would have went for it or whatever. But just imagine if one tweet from her saying, "Hey, I've teamed up with Evermore Park in Utah. It's a really cool fantasy park, theme park. They're going to sell my merch there, and I might even do a showing there," or what, something simple like one tweet from her. What that would have done for the tourism to want to go to that park? Come on. Think about it. I mean, it's how many, I haven't looked. I have no idea how many followers she has, but I know she's way up there with the top ones. Evermore Park, in contrast to most theme parks, Evermore Park does not feature any major rides. Instead, trained actors who portray fantasy characters are the main attraction. Yep, that is an accurate description. So, yeah, but what are your guys' thoughts? Of those two, now I guess option C would have been they could have just kept quiet and not bothered her. She doesn't bother them. They chose option B. How do you guys think? Am I the one? Maybe I'm the old guy. Obviously, I am the old guy around here. Maybe my thinking is fucked up, and I'm way off base. Maybe all you guys would have said, no, you got to protect your brand or whatever, and yeah, you should have sued her. I mean, I don't know. I would respect your opinions. I mean, tell me what you guys thought. Do you go to Renaissance fairs? Yes, I have gone to Renaissance fairs. I have also cosplayed at Comic-Con. If you guys follow me on Facebook, there's a platform that not that many people use anymore, but that's where I have all my pictures from like Comic-Cons and stuff like that. I have them. So Greyhawk 4x4 on Facebook, you can see my pictures and stuff from my cosplay. I cosplay as Davos from Game of Thrones, Sir Davos, the Onion Knight. I mean, I don't know if you could tell that maybe that there's a reason why I picked him. I mean, so, but that's who I picked. And my niece made my costume. She's a seamstress, and She went as Daenerys. Um, and I went as Davos, Sir Davos. We got to be part of a um, we got to be part of a big photo shoot that they got all the cosplayers for Game of Thrones, because this was in like Game of Thrones season like 5 or season 6 when it was in its heyday. And they got all of us together and did they actually had a professional photographer from Comic-Con take pictures of all of us and all that stuff. So so was it her album, Mike, or was it her song that was called Evermore, or both? Let's see here. Is an out. The whole album is called Evermore. Okay. Yeah, it was her 9th studio album. Yeah. So it says here. Chupa says Led Zeppelin did put out the song Battle of Evermore, so not that uncommon, I guess. True. Just like Westworld. Kind of like Westworld, but, fantasy themed, except hopefully no one there's trying to kill you. Lawsuit is dumb as the brand isn't affected by our song. Exactly. And again, not saying that she would have or anybody would have been interested, but on the why not give it a shot and see if she wanted to do a cross promotion thing, So I have no clue. I just know the theme park. You worked as security for parks, right? I worked at Universal Studios. I was started as a security officer and promoted up through all the different levels, through field supervisor, production security supervisor, to lieutenant, to captain, to assistant project manager, to project manager, and then I ended up going above that to branch manager, and then I was over a bunch of different entertainment. We actually founded the entertainment branch of Pinkerton Security. So I had Disney, DreamWorks, Universal, ABC, CBS, NBC. I forget, Fox. We provided security for all of them. So yeah. Now, having said that, and I mentioned Disney, we did not provide security for the theme parks. We provided security for the so the studio is in Burbank, California. They have their own security in-house at the studio, but Disney owns, and I know this will come as a shocker, Disney owns about 80% of Burbank, California, all the little office buildings and shit, and they have Disney employees doing shit in all of them. Those buildings, we did the security for. So all the ancillary buildings, other than the studio itself, we provide. And then, in addition to that, I had the El Capitan Theater on Hollywood Boulevard, which was Disney owned. Security provided the security for that. And the Disney stores, the retail stores, I had all of the Disney stores nationwide. And the way that worked was all the scheduling for security officers came through my office for all the Disney stores nationwide. So if we got a call from Tyler, Texas, saying they needed a security officer that night, it would come into our office. We would contact the local branch for Pinkerton Security in Texas, in Tyler, Texas, the closest one, and we would say we need a security officer to the Disney store. They would charge us, that branch would charge us for their security officer, and then we would bill Disney stores, the retail stores. We had a master account, and we just kept track of everything and billed all of them. So yeah, that there's a full rundown of what I used to do. So yeah, you guys have all the same ideas I did. She could perform there, give Swift a free day at the park, free promo, win-win. Exactly. That just something little like that. Any little thing like that would have boosted their notoriety. Can you imagine if Entertainment Tonight picked that story up? Entertainment Tonight or the fuck is it? The gossip, whatever the hell that damn site is that takes all the paparazzi photos and bullshit. Why I can't think of their name. But anyway, Entertainment Tonight or any of those, if they had just happened to pick it up and say, "Oh, yeah, there's this new theme park in Utah that shares the name with Taylor Swift's new album, and she's actually going to be there for a day," or something like. I mean, through the roof, man. I mean, TMZ. That's it. If TMZ just happened to pick that up, because if she came to the park, if she did for that one day, just came and do a little promo thing, TMZ'd have somebody there covering it. They would because they'd be wanting to get pictures of her, especially if she was in a themed outfit, like maybe a wizard outfit or whatever, a fairy godmother. Who gives a shit? If she was in some theme thing. I mean, my brain's just going crazy of all the ideas that maybe how they could have done it. So. Sepulveda says the thing is that you cannot register a name. Well, and again, they dropped the lawsuit. I'm almost certain of it. I know they didn't win it. So, is Warduke the Boba Fett of Dungeons and Dragons? So when those characters came out for D&D, Warduke and I can't think of all. There was like 5 or 6 of them. They had little minis, or not minis. They had action figures for them. I never collected them. I never did anything with them. Somebody here might have a better answer than I do. It's possible. It makes sense that just picturing his character. Let's take a look here. I remember what he looked like. He looks like he would have been that type of character. He looks like a barbarian. But it's not to say that in that world he would not have been a bounty hunter. Evil fighter. It says here. I'm looking at the action figure. I kind of wish I would have collected these now. I'm curious. Is Warduke in 5th edition? The Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Is that Warduke that I didn't realize that they resurrected them. So, yeah, and anybody can sue anybody for anything. No, there's no law against suing any. I mean, you could literally pick somebody off the street and literally sue them because the sky is blue. You're not going to win. It's going to get thrown out of court. But there is absolutely nothing stopping you from filing the paperwork and if you want to spend the money to file the paperwork and everything, you can sue anybody for literally anything. Just doesn't mean it just won't go anywhere on most stuff. So. Yes, if it's a brand name, yeah, then there's trademark and copyright and all that stuff. Yeah. What did you think of the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon? I have the entire series on a Blu-ray, and as a kid, I loved it. I loved the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. As an adult, it's a little silly, but it doesn't stop me from popping it in every once in a while, watching a couple of them. Hell, I've got the Dungeon Master on my other hat. I've got his little pin on my hat. So, yeah, the cartoon as a kid was every Saturday morning, bowl of cereal, D&D cartoon. Yep. So, so the Horn Society is from Greyhawk. Yeah, and I literally never did any research on Warduke or any of those figures. Let's see here. What are these here? There was Warduke, Zarek. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any of these other ones here. Elkhorn. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know if it was the time. Maybe it was right when I went in the Army that these came out. And I was not in a position to do any D&D stuff for the first few months because I was in basic training. So, yeah, they're LJN figures is what they are. So whoever put that in the chat, Alethra, yep. No, and see, I didn't buy third edition. I never bought third edition. I went from second edition, and then I ended up buying third and 3.5 when fourth edition was out. Fourth edition was out, which I didn't buy any of at the time. I ended up buying some 3 and 3.5 stuff just from the collector's standpoint, and I didn't play 3.5 until Brad did it here. And that was when 5th edition was first coming out. It might have already been out when we started playing 3.5 here. So my timeline was all fucked up. I didn't go by the timeline that's the traditional of all the releases. It didn't go that way. Yeah. So. Oh shit, we're over an hour. I got Chinese food waiting for me upstairs. So yeah, I know it's Cinco de Mayo, but the all the Mexican restaurants and everything here are just swamped. So yeah. He somehow emerged out of the Greyhawk Wars. I have the Greyhawk Wars box set right there. Sorry, I just went on that. Everyone, no worries. So I think bottom line is, I think most of you agreed with me that doing the lawsuit for them was, I don't know if they thought that, I think what they thought was she would just, without like any argument or trying to fight it or whatever, would just basically say, here's a pile of money, sign this paperwork here and, make it go away or whatever. I think that's what they were hoping for. They didn't think that she was going to like lawyer up and like let her lawyers start and like dig in first. I think they just thought she was literally just going to offer them a settlement and say, here's a bunch of money, sign here, releasing me, whatever. I don't know what they thought. So, but hey, anyway, they're still around, which I'm happy about because it's a fun place to go. So, because now when we went the first time, they didn't have their liquor license. They didn't have their booze license. Now they have their booze license. So now they sell beer, wine, all that stuff. I think even cocktails. They have a full-blown restaurant on the property now, like a medieval themed restaurant. So yeah, looking forward to it. All right, guys. Any last minute questions, comments, whatever, before I bail out of here? We are playing tomorrow. We're back at the table. So there will be a campaign update after that. And we'll go from there. So let's see. I'm not getting any other comments, questions, so we're going to shut her down. Hey, Mad Hermit was here. He was lurking. Thanks for everybody that showed up. Did I miss? I hope I didn't miss anybody. I think I said hi to everybody. Appreciate you guys. Yep. All right, guys. I'm out. Cheers. We'll catch you on the flip side, and we'll see you next time.